Hitler didn't die in the bunker. Declassified files say otherwise. What if everything you've been told about Hitler's death is a lie? April 30th, 1945. The official story says Hitler shot himself in a Berlin bunker. But decades later, declassified CIA and FBI files reveal something far more disturbing. And it's not just fringe conspiracy theory anymore. In this video, we'll uncover secret Nazi escape routes, unreported sightings, and the jaw-dropping contents of intelligence files that suggest Adolf Hitler may not have died in that bunker at all. You'll never look at World War II history the same way again. Stick around till the end, because what we reveal might just make you question everything. Berlin, April 1945. The city is a smoldering ruin. Soviet forces are closing in block by block. Inside the Führerbunker, beneath the Reich Chancellery, Hitler is said to be in his final hours, delusional, paranoid, issuing commands to ghost armies that no longer exist. On April 30th, 1945, the Nazi High Command claimed that Adolf Hitler and his wife Eva Braun took their lives. His body, they said, was burned with gasoline and buried in a shallow bomb crater. But here's where things get strange. The Soviets, who recovered the remains, never showed the world any conclusive proof. In fact, Stalin himself told President Truman in 1945 that Hitler might have escaped, and that his body was never found. The Western Allies were baffled. If Hitler was dead, why did no one ever see the body? By the early 1950s, rumors were swirling in intelligence circles. Sightings of Adolf Hitler, alive, were being reported from all over the world. Spain, Colombia, and most shockingly, Argentina. Then came the declassified bombshells. In 2014, the FBI released hundreds of documents under the Freedom of Information Act. Buried within those papers were reports suggesting that U.S. officials took these escape theories seriously. One file dated 1945 reads, "Hitler arrived in Argentina with 50 high-ranking Nazi officials and is now living in a secluded estate in the Andes." Another report detailed how submarines had landed along the Argentine coast shortly after the war, an area known for sympathizers of the Nazi regime. Argentina's president at the time, Juan Perón, had well-documented ties to Nazi fugitives. This wasn't just a safe haven. It was a network. And it gets darker. Operation Paperclip, the U.S. government program that brought over Nazi scientists after the war, shows that many top-ranking Nazis were not only spared, they were repurposed. So why not Hitler? In 2009, a startling book by historian Abel Basti made waves in South America. It claimed that Hitler lived in a remote estate in Patagonia until the 1960s and even had a daughter. Locals allegedly spotted a German-speaking man with a distinct mustache, always surrounded by armed guards. Sound crazy? Here's the kicker. The CIA had a file on Basti's claims. They didn't dismiss it. The final proof of Hitler's death came from the Soviets, skull fragments, supposedly his. But in 2009, U.S. archaeologist Nick Bellantoni conducted DNA tests on the skull and found that it belonged to a woman under 40. Let that sink in. The only physical evidence of Hitler's death turned out not to be him. So, where was he? What if Hitler used a body double? The Nazi regime was known to use them for security. In the chaos of Berlin's fall, would anyone have known? As the Allies scrambled to confirm Hitler's death, the U.S. and British intelligence services were also hunting other high-profile Nazis, and many were found alive, thousands of miles away from Germany. Adolf Eichmann was captured in Argentina. Joseph Mengele, the angel of death, fled to Paraguay and Brazil, never caught. Martin Bormann, allegedly dead in Berlin, but a CIA report from 1967 places him in South America. And here's the creepiest part. Witnesses to these Nazi escapes started dying under suspicious circumstances. One CIA informant who claimed to have seen Hitler in Colombia was poisoned before he could testify. Another report from 1955 said Hitler had been seen in Tunal, Colombia. The CIA sent agents, but all records of that investigation vanish after a single memo. No further action necessary. Puzzled, why would the CIA be told to stand down? Some believe Hitler was too valuable alive. A bargaining chip in Cold War power games, or even a source of intel on the Soviet Union? That may sound insane, but so did Operation Paperclip until it wasn't. What if the Soviets lied to the world and kept Hitler alive as a prisoner? Why did U.S. files on Hitler sightings stay classified until the 2010s? Could the man in those grainy 1954 Argentine photos really be him? And what about the chilling Argentinian school records showing a child named Adolf Leipziger enrolled under strange circumstances? So did Hitler really die in that Berlin bunker? Or did the most hated man in history walk free, vanishing into the mountains of South America, while the world moved on? Declassified documents raise more questions than answers, but one thing is certain: the official story isn't airtight. In our next video, we'll explore one of the strangest loose ends, the map Israel doesn't want you to see, from U.S. cover-ups to shrinking Palestinian territory. What we found will blow your mind. Subscribe and hit the bell icon.